You have to understand what the communists do is urinate on everything.
At least your grandparents got to the mountain. They beat up the others with axes and sticks. Their grandparents got and moved from the ocean, for it rose up and swallowed their houses and kids. But that was a long time ago. Now you might have to marry your cousin. There aren't any left of us. Could be your sister, so count. You sound lucky that she died with the others. It's probably bad. The child that they make you make could be a monster. The blow of the horn, throw him off of the cliff. But the chances are smaller if it's only your cousin. So count yourself lucky that your sister is dead. They bombed in Canada, thought it would save them, but there's nowhere to hide from the party. Not proud of the legacy bad that I made it, cause we reigned through the tear with a rep. You can get in by my records. We're also the last generation, though I think that I'm safe. But that was a long time ago. Now you might have to bury your cousin. There aren't any left of us. Could be your sister's account. You sound lucky she died with the others. It's probably best, cause the child they make you think could be a monster. The blow on the horn, throw him off of the cliff. But the chances are smaller if it's only your cousin. So you might as well count yourself lucky your sister is dead. Everywhere's an island when the water gets high enough. Imagine the bottle they fling in the night. Everywhere's an island when the water gets high enough. Imagine a way to turn it back into ice.
That's a song about climate change and incest by the Roughies. Make sure you're here on the 25th of this month. We'll be giving away a bunch of digital and physical copies of the Roughies album. Before it comes out April 1st, so you'll get it first. And also you'll not only get the MP3s, you'll get like the 24-bit Wave Masters of that. So that'll be super cool. Anyway, welcome to the Plex. We do this show live every Sunday. And I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you, Avalon of Babylon. I'm doing well. A little worn out from last night. We had a very long show yesterday covering that Board of Supervisors meeting, but it was good. Anyway, we do the show live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Echo Plex Media. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork, I mean, it's just brutal on the cops. So, make sure you die after you're already in custody if they whoop that ass. So the upfront of the show, we're doing CPAC. I bet everybody probably already could have guessed that we were doing CPAC. So we have some CPAC stuff. I'm sorry. The podcast part of the show, that's the 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific hour. We got excellent testimony about an anti-trans bill in Montana. Charles from Pensacola shows up at the school board meeting. Seems lovely. And then the people banning Dr. Seuss are talking about book bans. I don't know what that means. Some of these speeches during this dark time are actually pretty inspiring. And then we're going to move on to Ted Cruz. Why haven't you gotten Newsmax back on DirecTV yet? And Andrew Tate was a setup. Then we got Marjorie the Gathering still on that national divorce bullshit. We got Matt Gaetz tries using Chinese propaganda at a House hearing. We got Jesse Waters suggests using war crimes to battle fentanyl. We have Waters is just being his best possible self in this other clip, which, probably quite bad. We got supporting your husband is creepy. We got this one just says, how would you even go about doing this? And then we got a palate cleanser. Then we got the woke wars. Then they invented a term that libs of TikTok doesn't understand and doesn't know anything about, but they invented it for her. We got Tiny Dancer Ben versus Harry Styles. We got Tim Pool goes to a hipster coffee shop or something. We got Candace Owens. Then we got more Candace Owens. Then we got Daily Wire C-Team Michael Knowles wants to ban being trans. And then he's going to say that that actually can't be genocidal because he doesn't think that trans people are people or something like that. We got white men are being erased, and Matt Walsh isn't even close to done yet or something. And then we got get your non-woke chocolate. And then for red light, we got just walking into somebody else's garage to lecture some kids. We got Alex Jones has the drop on Q. We got we got one way to kill time before your flight. We got Naomi Wolf on the Mike Pillow show. We got some anti-trans religious cringe, and then we got the Groypers at the Marriott near CPAC because they weren't let into CPAC. Also, if you're in Discord and somebody's saying mean things to you, it is the cat. The cat is over there, definitely walking on the keyboard for the computer that we run Discord on. So it's not actually DJ Bob calling you those names. It's the cat. So we're going to get right to it here. I mean, they have some standards at CPAC. I mean, I don't know. We're going to have to, we have some video from CPAC here. So their standards aren't the best, but they do have some standards. We're going to open up here with fucking Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire, the C team of the Daily Wire, actually, Michael.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be back at CPAC. Oh, stop it. Get out of here. Come on.
God, you are the black hole of charisma.
Come on, I love you. I love you more. Come on. Thank you very much. Thank you to Matt and to the rest of the team for the invitation. It is a special honor to be at CPAC this year because I think this year I may be the only speaker who is not actively planning to run for president in 2024.
Oh, hack. This isn't funny.
Obviously, President Trump is running again. I'm noticing a lot of governors and senators and businessmen and Candace, lots of other people who might be interested. But I am not, because I am not old enough. So this CPAC has relatively low political stakes for me personally, but the political stakes for our
He's like the youngest person at CPAC.
Which is why I suspect so many people are planning to run for president, because they're seeing what we're all seeing, that when it comes to protecting our country, Joe Biden has failed on every point. It's not hyperbole, it's not a cheap political shot, it's just a plain fact. Our country faces mounting threats on every single front. Inflation is at 40-year highs, illegal immigration is at all-time highs, and for the first time since World War II, we've seen the outbreak of a major war in Europe, a war that we are funding to the tune of $100 billion with no end in sight. Now, there is one silver lining to that particular storm cloud, which is that I believe we can now all write off Zelensky as a dependent on our tax returns, which will...
Oh my God, this is... why are you doing comedy?
Money, maybe. Basic aspects of life are breaking down. Marriage rates and birth rates are at all-time lows. In recent years, for the first time in history, our life expectancy has declined, driven largely by suicides and deaths of despair.
And a pandemic? A pandemic, sir? Was there a pandemic, maybe?
Drug overdoses. Our nation, allegedly the most advanced on earth, can't even protect its own citizens from street criminals. The murder rate has reached its highest level in nearly 3 decades.
Is that true?
Attempted to throw up their hands. The challenges seem too enormous. The conservative optimists differ from the conservative...
But the highest rate in nearly 3 decades... that doesn't mean anything, right? When you say, well, it's the highest in nearly 3... what the fuck does that mean then? Nearly 3 decades?
Pessimists, only in as much as the conservative pessimists say that things can't get any worse, and the conservative optimists say, oh, yes, they can. Things might get worse, but they don't have to. These problems are not as complicated as many people would have us believe. Most of these problems are pretty simple. The patron saint of this conference, Ronald Reagan.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
For making this point. The liberals, Reagan said, say we offer simple answers to complex problems. Well, perhaps there is a simple answer. Not an easy answer, but simple.
Please don't do a Ronald Reagan impression, Michael Knowles.
Tell our elected officials that we want a national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right. Ronald Reagan did his part. He did his part. But we don't need to look back to the 1980s to see the wisdom of these words. We can look around us today and not very far from home. Until recently, El Salvador was the most dangerous country on earth. Today, it is one of the safest countries in Latin America. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, cut the nation's murder rate in half in just 1 year. How did he do it? Well,
Probably lying.
built a big prison and put all the criminals in it.
Like, wait, no, you don't. the new president probably just came in and fucking cut the murder rate by lying about how much murder was happening, right?
Seems pretty simple.
They raided the slums. That's
He
great.
humiliated the criminals, he knocked down their symbols and their monuments, and he enforced the law. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but it was simple. Demoralize the bad guys, encourage the good guys, pursue a national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right. President Bukele explained the secret to his nation's improbable success. He said the nation was turning back to God.
Well, that's
Turning
stupid.
back to the most important values: honor, loyalty, courage, love for our fellow man. He said those values had been degraded in El Salvador as they are now degrading in our own country. But it wasn't too late. How, he asked, could a nation not rise up with values such as those? If one of the weakest countries on earth can do it, why can't we? I think we can. I think we can.
Right, but this is like this is so stupid because why like why would he take the word, like why I don't know the president. I forget what he was talking about now already. Well, what if they just came in and lied about the murder rate? That's what I'd do.
Unfortunately, many conservatives think we might not be able to, because though conservatives have many virtues, we're intelligent, we're funny, devilishly handsome,
I'll get out of here. You fucking
Unfortunately-
want to be Scrooge.
sometimes conservatives lack imagination. We suffer from low expectations. We think that the thing that we can most hope for is that we halt the left exactly where it is, preserve the status quo, and hope we don't lose any more ground. It sometimes feels as if all conservatives do is defend the policies that the liberals fought for 10 years ago.
Which ones? You mean Obamacare?
First example
You mean the
of this
Affordable
is
Care Act?
battle over transgenderism. On the one side of the debate, you've got the liberals who argue that third graders should be taught to change their sex in schools.
Nobody's being taught that. That's not. He's just. Oh my God.
On the other side of the debate, you've got the conservatives who say that we should wait until fourth grade. Doesn't seem like much of a difference to me.
This is just. This is like bigoted and it's like hack material. It's not even like, what is this?
Transgenderism is not that it's inappropriate for children under the age of 9. The problem with transgenderism is that it isn't true.
Oh, he's playing the hits. That lady back there's like, yeah.
With transgenderism is that it
He's like, if your hips still work, stand up, please clap.
puts forward a delusional vision of human nature that denies the reality and importance of sexual difference and complementarity. The problem with transgenderism is that its acceptance at any level necessarily entails the complete destruction of women's bathrooms, women's sports, all of the specific rights and spaces that women currently enjoy. There
But most women don't care.
be no middle way in dealing with transgenderism. It is all or nothing. If transgenderism is true, if men really can become women, then it's true for everybody of all ages. If transgenderism is false, as it is, if men really can't become women, as they cannot, then it's false for everybody too. And if it's false, then we should not indulge it, especially since that indulgence requires taking away the rights and customs of so many people. If it is false, then for the good of society, and especially for the good of the poor people who have fallen prey to this confusion, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely.
Oh yeah, that's fucking. That's just straight up eliminationist rhetoric. I'm hesitant to call it genocidal, but I do understand why people would say that. It's straight up eliminationist rhetoric. It's go back in the closet, trans people. And that was the argument they were doing on gay people for a while too, until they realized that was a big old fucking stinking loser. Hope these people realize this shit's a big old losing argument pretty soon too, because this is pretty scary. What do you mean? What do you mean just eliminate it from society? Like, how would you go about doing that? You just deport them all to where? Transylvania?
The whole preposterous ideology at every level. It's simple. It is as simple as the advice Don Corleone gave to Johnny Fontaine. You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
What?
We talk a lot about rights.
What?
And rights are very important, but so
the fuck is he talking about?
And men have a duty to act like men. It's not complicated. Some people, maybe not the people in this room, but in the online and television audience, they're probably clutching their pearls at such a clear and simple statement. I don't know why. Do these people forget? Transgenderism did not exist as a political matter until about 8 years ago, when Barack Obama and some liberals in North Carolina introduced it through military policy and bathroom ordinances.
What? What is this does he mean like as a political, I don't know what even means by a political matter, because like the gay liberation movement, there were trans people all up in that business. I don't even, as a political matter.
8 years ago, the notion that a man of any age had some sort of right to strap on stilettos and read a book to your kids, that would have been met with nothing but laughter and scorn by everybody in the country.
No, it wouldn't have. My God, that's not. Most people are just like, oh, a drag queen's going to go to the library and read stories to kids. First of all, at first somebody might be like, that's weird. And then you go, well, why is that weird? And they go, well, I don't know what I think about it. No, it's not. It's just a fucking, yeah, go read stories to kids.
Voted radical left-wing activists pushed.
Ooh, look at how empty the fucking, look at how many people aren't there.
The craziest part is the conservatives now want to meet them halfway. But there is no meeting halfway between truth and falsehood, between reality and delusion. There's no neutrality. We are either gaining ground or we are losing ground.
But this isn't a laughing matter. Don't worry. We have Carrie Lake up next. The laugh track will be in full effect for Carrie Lake.
Always. That's the story of the last 50 years. This is what happens over the last 50 years. The liberals introduce some crazy idea. The conservatives briefly oppose it. The liberals stand firm, and the conservatives cave. And then you know what they say.
Name the crazy ideas. Last 50 years, probably women able to have credit cards is probably on his list. Gay rights, probably. Gay rights. What else happened in the last 50 years?
They say, okay, we're fine with that crazy idea. The thing the liberals are saying now, we're fine with that. But that new idea, we oppose that. That's crazy. When the feminists of the 1970s started burning their bras and saying that a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle, the conservatives, they said, that's crazy. Then what happened? They caved. The conservatives caved. They said, feminism is fine, but all that sexual revolution stuff, that's crazy. All that village people stuff over there, that's crazy.
Oh, no, you just called me the village people. Yo, dude, fucking... Yo, I know a couple places in San Jose. You go in there and you call them motherfuckers the village people. You're probably gonna have a bad day. I'm not talking about the bar with the fucking $2 million sound system. I'm talking the dives. A couple dives here in San Jose. One of them's a punk rock bar where you start calling gay people the village people. And one of them's like the divey gay bar, dude. Like these dudes need to like go to like some dives in some cities and just be all about it, be about it. I recommend a punk rock bar and one of the divey gay bars, maybe where the clientele's a little bit older and has some memories of some of the stuff that happened before.
And then what happened? They caved. They said the sexual revolution stuff is fine, but transgenderism. Oh no, I'm sorry. First they said redefining marriage. Oh, that would be crazy. Then what happened? They caved. Then they say, okay.
Well, they didn't cave. The Supreme Court got it right for once. Nobody caved.
That's fine. But that transgenderism stuff, that's crazy. Then what happened? Now they're saying transgenderism's fine, but just don't trans the kids. That's crazy. In fact, what they're saying now is transing the kids in some cases is fine. Just don't trans the really little kids.
Is that what anybody's saying? Like, how do you, and that's not a verb. Transing isn't a verb.
And so it goes. That's how it goes. It was ever thus. From the moment the conservatives accepted the liberals' premise in the 70s that men and women are interchangeable, the moment they went along with the bra-burning feminists, it was all lost because transgenderism flows naturally from that premise. And conservatives became, to quote Michael Malice, progressives driving the speed limit. They offered voters not a choice but an echo, to quote Phyllis Schlafly.
Phyllis Schlafly? Is this guy even alive when Phyllis Schlafly was doing her fucking thing?
One issue on which we haven't caved, that would be the issue of life. And you want to hear a crazy coincidence? It's the only issue on which we've won.
Have you?
The issue on which we stood firm. We didn't meet anybody halfway. We said murder is wrong. We're not going to give up. And now Roe v. Wade is gone. Deader than disco. No coincidence.
Disco is not dead. I don't know. Shitting on disco, by the way, is homophobic and racist. Every fucking thing where people, maybe there are people who don't like disco because they don't like the music, but when you like start talking about disco at any political event, you're coming for me and you're coming for black people because that's disco was gay and black, and that's why fucking a lot of white people really hated it.
National decline is not inevitable. It is only inevitable if we believe that it is. If we give up. If we give up and give in...
Oh, they're playing and they're like, get out of here. Your jokes suck. Get out of here.
As though they could ever supplant simple and eternal truths. Cardinal Manning said there is a day to come which will reverse the confident judgments of men.
Service, welcome.
Those men say we offer simple answers to complex problems.
Yeah, you suck. Get out of here. Even the CPAC people are like, your jokes suck.
I hope that we still have the simplicity and the courage to say that men ought to act like men. That criminals ought to go to jail. That marriage, real marriage, the kind between a man and a woman, is the fundamental building block of our society. The basic, unchangeable political unit. That our
like, what is this from like 2003?
For a moral and religious...
Is he going to start yelling about the war? Is he going to start yelling about terrorism now? I mean, this is like so incredibly...
And relentlessly pursue what we...
This is like so incredibly outdated.
No matter the odds, no matter the consequences, no matter the passing fashions of the day. Thank you very much.
Fuck you very much. So he went after feminism, just like I think he went after second wave feminism too, right? He went after like turf feminists, I think, because the third wave feminists are intersectional generally, and that's what they hate about the third wave. Is that they're like, well, it's not just about being a woman. It might also be about race, class, sexuality. And a lot of our ideas actually are probably good for men, especially gay men. That's the feminism they really don't like. But this guy went one before that. He went to the second wave where it was just like, oh, we don't actually need to get married. That was the second wave of feminism as far as I know. First wave was we should be able to vote. And I know I'm oversimplifying, and if there's fucking feminist scholars in the audience, I am sorry. You can cancel me. But then he went after, then he started with oh, Phyllis Schlafly was right. Phyllis Schlafly. She was like in an orange commercial before everybody had a color TV. There were a lot of people with black and white TVs that watched Phyllis Schlafly's orange commercial. The oranges weren't even orange on their TV. He just kicked it way old school. A lot of the shit he was complaining about happened before he was even born. My God. Anyway, we're going to move on. This one's going to be pretty crazy. This one is Carrie Lake. I don't know why they had her. Whoa. Wow.
Oh my gosh, hello. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, CPAC, I love you so much. This crowd is amazing. Something tells me you're here to see somebody who's coming up a little bit later on, but that's okay. I'm happy you're here right now. It's just every time I stand on a CPAC stage, I realize what a miracle this all is. I mean, I am standing here as proof that every single American can make a difference in this fight that we're up against. I kind of got into this as a fed-up mom. Maybe you've heard a little bit about my story. I decided to run for office. You
decided to lose? Well, you didn't decide
away
that.
From the fake news, and walked away from my career and said, I don't want to do that anymore. Oh boy, best decision I ever made, by the way.
Yeah, she was I think a reporter, not an anchor. I think she was a local news anchor or a local news reporter.
Of the wide open borders, of the cartels running the show, of fentanyl pouring across our border, killing our young people. This isn't drug overdoses that we're seeing. This is a poisoning of our youth. And if you don't think that China...
No, they're drug overdoses.
...can bring down an entire civilization with...
Okay, that's like... That is not... I think most of the fentanyl doesn't... I don't think most of it's manufactured in China. I could be wrong, but it's not war. It's not like they're trying to kill people.
Drugs, then you need to study the opium wars, because that's how they did it. And they're trying to kill our young people. But as a mom, I got sick of that. Why weren't our elected officials doing something about it? Why were these politicians more interested in dealing and helping Ukraine than helping their own citizens? And so I stepped into the fray.
She's playing the hits.
I had no idea
playing the
what
hits.
was about to happen. I jumped in, I decided to run, and we started a movement. I thought we were alone at first.
But then you had that weird anti-masker Ethan Schmidt guy.
Of grandmas and grandpas.
Yeah, China was not the aggressor in the opium
Even
wars.
the little ones were with us. It was really quite amazing. And we led this movement on the precipice of making Arizona great again. And they knew that...
And then they did by not electing you. By the Democrats won most of the stuff there.
Shut down
They
the
did.
cartels at the border. They were so afraid of me and so afraid of we the people that they stopped us by any means necessary. And they did that on November 8th, on Election Day. Did you all hear about what happened in Arizona?
You lost. Yeah, I heard about that. It was glorious.
An election
Glorious.
in broad daylight, right in front of us. And then they dared us to do something about it. They dared us to do something. Here's what happened. On Election Day, when all of our people were showing up, they printed intentionally the wrong image on the ballot so that you would...
They did it intentionally? What was it, a picture of Goofy?
250,000 ballots were rejected on Election Day across Maricopa County.
But they were hand counted after the machine couldn't count them. Like, that's why it took so long. Or one of the reasons it took so long.
I told my team, I don't want to vote in a Republican area. I've got to go find the most liberal part of town and vote there. And that's what we did. We drove across town. I voted in the liberal part of town. Got in and out, no problem. Machines were working. Everything was fine.
That's because you live in the liberal part of town, right? She lives in like the downtown area for
They
sure.
were printing the wrong ballots. The machines weren't working. They were being spit out. And the Republicans in Arizona were disenfranchised. 75% of them voting that day were Republicans. They did this intentionally. And they thought, can you imagine this? They thought that we would roll over and go quietly into the night.
No, you just bitched about losing and you're still doing it. Lady, you lost. You're sore loser Lake. Go away.
No.
I think her 15 minutes might be up.
No.
We'll see though.
Hell no. They messed with the wrong mama bear. They messed with the wrong mama bear, and this mama bear is going to tear them to shreds.
Are you though? Is that what you're going to do?
We can steal another election. So what we're doing is we have the strongest election lawsuit this country's ever seen, and we just filed it at the Arizona Supreme Court this week.
Lawsuit number what exactly? How many lawsuits was it?
And we are exposing these criminals who are stealing our elections, and we're exposing them every single day. We want to know who they are, and we want to make sure we drive them out of office. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to do that. Now, here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen with our case. I'm not a justice on the Supreme Court. I hope they do the right thing and apply the law. We have an...
I know what's going to happen in your case. You're going to lose.
Proof right there. But I'm going to be really honest with you. This is in God's hands. I wish it were in my hands solely, because I would...
Wait, why would you wish it was in your hands? Isn't God more powerful than you or whatever? And God would know that you're right. Why would you, whatever. This doesn't even make sense on its own terms. Like, even if you exist, if you like follow the rules of her little world, what she's saying here doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you be glad it was in God's hand?
I'd rather it be in God's hands. And you know what else is in God's hands? Us staying in the game. As President Ronald Reagan once said, when you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat.
Is that room like, is Is that room not full? I think that room isn't full.
And they may think that they won, but I know they're feeling the heat. They're actually, we've got them in the frying pan right now. This is true. And
Out of the fire into the frying pan, or whatever the fucking saying is, right?
I can't believe this actually happened, and I wasn't sure if I was going to share it here at CPAC. I wonder if the fake news will even cover this. Something happened to me this week before I left for CPAC, and it shows...
Did you bump your head? Oh, no, that happened a long time ago.
...how desperate these people are to stop me and to silence you. I decided to share this. It's a little bit controversial, but I'm going to put this out. Somebody showed up at my door this week. They called me before and said, I got to talk to you in person. This can't be done over the phone, which is always kind of like, uh-oh, what's that going to be about? They came to my door and they tried to bribe me out of getting out of politics. It's really happened. I'm telling you.
Somebody in the Arizona GOP was like, all right, listen, I got a couple tens of millions here. Try to give her 6 of these millions and maybe she'll go away. I guarantee it was some if this happened at all, if this didn't occur, this could have also occurred at a hipster coffee shop where all kinds of things occur. But if this did occur, it was some Republican, it was some wealthy Republican in Arizona that is just like, you got to go away, lady.
This is how disgusting politics is. A mom who runs for office and they're afraid of me. They tried to bribe me with a job title, with a huge salary, a position on a board. This is how they do it. And
wait, that's a job offer. That's not a bribe. A bribe would just be like, I'm going to write you this check and you're going to go away. This is like, we're going to give you a seat on the board of directors. It's going to be your salary. You need to contact Sarah and HR and make sure we have all of your correct information. You have to fill out this application. It's just a formality. Don't worry about it. And I need your ID. Like, this is just offering you a job. This isn't a bribe.
And I said, are you kidding me? I walked away from a big job and a big salary. I'm not motivated by that stuff, guys. I'm not.
That wasn't a bribe. I might have been trying to take you off the board, but...
This person standing before me was sent at the request of some powerful people back east. They want me out of politics. But wait a minute. I thought they already stopped us. Why are they so afraid? I thought they already stopped our movement. So...
Actually, that was your sign from God, lady. The sign came from God. The sign from God was, take this job and the $500,000 a year salary they're offering you. The God sent help, lady. You just fucking weren't ready to receive it. It was definitely her own party. And I think it was somebody in Arizona politics that would do that. I mean, I don't know. But she's not really... I don't think she's really embarrassing the National Republican Party very much. But the Arizona Republican Party, especially with that state being like razor thin, like on, popular vote for things like governor and whatnot. Yeah, there are people up that food chain that really want this lady to go away. Because she's making she's making regular people, she's making some Republicans figure out. She's like, well, these people are fucking crazy. I guess I got to vote for the Democrat. Fuck.
Future holds. I don't know. I'm just on God's time right now. And when I said no to
no, there's like a timer in front of you, I'm sure.
They didn't take no for an answer. They said, well, what will it take? What is your price? How do we keep you out? Name your price. This really happened this week. Name your price.
Name the name. Name names. If you said no, name names.
Is to get out of politics for 2 years.
Spill the tea, Carrie. Spill the tea.
Okay. CPAC, I got to ask you. Do you think I should sit out for 2 years?
What if some people were yelling things at her like, how much money did they offer you? Can I have some? Break me off some of it and I'll help you do that job. Like,
should we put our movement on ice for 2 years? I didn't think so. Or should we double down and stay in this? Double down.
Okay.
Now I'm going to be honest.
Oh, actually, that room's small.
I wanted to sick my dog on him.
Did the CPAC used to be in this fucking arena? Was I mistaken? Was CPAC never in an arena and it was just shot kind of weird and it looked like they were in this big place? Or is this smaller? Or is she like off in a side room? I don't know. I don't know how any of this is working.
but I have a pug and it wasn't going to happen. So I said,
this isn't an arena.
your handlers back east know that I can't name a price because there is no price that I would sell out my country for. Not $1 million, not $10 million, not $100 million.
Oh, you'd do it for 100.
I love you right back. But I'll tell you, this tells me that they do not want my name on a ballot again.
The Republicans, yes, that is correct. The Republicans do not want your name on a ballot again. Because the Republicans are fucking off the rails right now. But there are at least some of them that are like, this is really embarrassing.
And I have a message. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
They should kick her out of the Republican
And
Party. So funny.
that got me very fired up. I was packing for CPAC, and this happened, and I'm like, I'm so fired up. And then after this weekend at CPAC has a way of firing up us again, right? So I just want you to know, as we leave here, they may act, and they're gaslighting us, and they may act like they're in control. We, the people, are in control.
But wait, no,
We are in control.
I keep saying this. If what you're saying is, let's say, wrong and completely detached from reality, then no one is gaslighting you, because gaslighting you is to try to make you think you're crazy. Well, sometimes it's not gaslighting. I don't know how else to say it.
Control. And I have complete faith and I have complete confidence that this country can and will get things back on track. 100%. Because America First is not over yet. The world is just about to see what great things can happen when we invest in America, when we rebuild America, when we educate America, and when we finally come together as Americans proudly.
This doesn't mean anything. This means absolutely fucking nothing. We need to proudly come together as Americans. How do you even determine if that has happened?
So I say that we spend, I don't know about you, but I say we spend every single day from here going forward striving to make America great again. And that starts with re-electing President Donald J. Trump.
That was the end of her speech. That was great. So we're not going to get to all of the speeches here. I know you're going to think that I'm making a mistake here, but I'm going to skip Lauren Boebert. And I'm also going to skip James O'Keefe. We can listen to them in red light if you want. But I got Steve Bannon and I have Marjorie the Gathering. So I think we'll be able to get through both of them here.
Welcome, host of War
Steve
Room,
Bannon's 15 minutes.
Steve
We're not going to get through both of them. What is this? This is terrible already.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, he's in a bigger room than Marjorie the guy, or than fucking.
I'd like to.
Carrie Lake was in. I
We're
think.
just in a crisis, or there's a crisis coming, but that's not the case. There's no longer a gathering storm. The storm is here.
Oh my God! Just straight up QAnon.
The storm.
Just straight QAnon.
This is the most dangerous time in world history since the late 1930s, early 1940s. And how did we get here? Our betters, our elites led us here step by step by step. What you have now is you have two converging crises. A crisis of capital markets and economics, and a crisis of geopolitical and military. And they're converging very rapidly, and then they're going to conflate.
Then they're going to conflate. What does that mean? The people are going to get them. They're going to converge, and then they're going to conflate. Does he mean people are going to get confused which one is which, or maybe intentionally deceive you and tell you that the economic whatever one is there? No. That's the socio-geopolitical one.
And it's anybody's bet. Now remember, we came off of, on 3 November of 2020, 4 years of peace and prosperity. The interest rate, the 10-year Treasury at in the evening of 3 November when Fox News illegitimately called it for the opposition and not Donald J. Trump.
Dude, this is amazing.
Our nation
You know, this guy, I think this guy and Carrie Lake are actually going to destroy the Republican Party.
has never recovered, of which it's never recovered. The interest rate in the 10-year Treasury was 0.8%. 0.8%.
That's actually bad.
For the first time, and God knows when, the entire structure of our interest rates from 1-month treasuries to 30-year treasuries went over 4%. Do you understand that the system is set up of debt? It cannot take those type of interest rates. You will be absolutely crushed, and the people crushed the most are the millennials that now have $9 trillion of debt. They are going to be Russian serfs. They're not going to own anything with no possibility of owning anything.
Serfs?
Professor Rubini just told us about the...
Does he mean like Russian serfs, or does he mean like the...
Recession, inflation, stagflation, depression, debt crisis. Dr. Doom, who called 2008, said it's only going to get worse because the world's got $300 trillion of debt.
But who do we owe it to? Jupiter? What do you mean the Earth's got...
What do we have?
What does that mean?
That's nothing.
The Earth... How do you... What?
About the financial aspects of it, we're going to have recession, inflation, stagflation, depression, debt crisis. Dr. Doom, who called 2008, said it's only going to get worse because the world's got $300 trillion of debt. Now let's talk
But don't we all owe it to each other, kind of?
about the United States, right? What do we have? $32 trillion debt? That's nothing. The CBO reports you're going to have another $20 trillion of debt in 10 years. You're going to be paying $1 trillion a year in interest payments. It's not sustainable. Who got us here? Well, Joe Biden, yeah, but he got here because of the compromise made by the establishment Republicans in the Senate. They took away the gavel from you.
Wait, what?
What are they doing right now? You need dramatic cuts. You need dramatic cuts in spending right now, and not one penny increase to the debt ceiling, not one penny. If you prioritize the payments, there's plenty of cash. The cash comes in, we pay off the interest. We pay off any securities.
What the fuck?
We never default in the debt ever. We pay off Social Security and Medicare.
Oh, this guy clearly understands the massive economies. He's like, he needs some money comes and just pay off your debt with it, you know?
All the easy decisions of decades ago. Now, on top of that, this converges, right? This converges on the geopolitical situation. Look what happened since Trump left office. You have the Ayatollahs in Iran, right? Tell us how safe do our allies in Israel feel right now?
Wait, the Ayatollahs were in Iran before, weren't they? They've been there this whole time.
Having a military ceremony. We're going to bring Xi to Tehran. You got the merger of the KGB and the CCP. You've got Erdogan. You have our great allies.
I thought Russia was our friend. I don't.
Already taking
or your friend. I don't know.
Oil to
you hate Russia? I forget.
Away from the U.S. dollar. You have North Korea and the radical jihadis in Pakistan. You have
in Pakistan now? Like, what the fuck is this?
And what are we doing? We're turning over our foreign policy to Zelensky to let him determine whether he's going to go take Crimea or not.
I'm so confused now. I just see a lot of empty chairs in this shot here.
Today? Is Merrick Garland at DOJ trying to arrest all the infiltration by the Chinese Communist Party in this country? Is he at DOJ?
That would be like not maybe the DOJ's job, I don't think. I don't know.
On the Wuhan lab, you know, maybe we need help. He's in Ukraine.
All right.
He's in Ukraine. Yellen goes to Ukraine. She doesn't go to East Palestine, Ohio. She goes to Ukraine. The convergence of these two crises is going to lead us into a third world war. A third world war that are not only going to wipe you out economically and financially in this country.
It's going to kill you.
More important, your sons and daughters are going to die on foreign battlefields. Are you?
Oh, no.
Do you support that?
He thinks that World War III isn't, he's like, oh, World War III, it's actually just going to happen there, over there somewhere. We're going to send our shit over there. You didn't think World War III is the thing that's going to happen? If it's happening, what if it happened here, Steve? Then the civilians would die, Steve.
I can't hear you. Do you support it or not? Because if you don't stand up and fight it, it's going to happen. You can't put all this just on Donald J. Trump. This has to be the American people. You underwrite the entire system. Are you prepared to fight back? Are you prepared to sit down and just take it? The elites.
There's that kid in the front making fun.
Too lazy.
There's a kid there making fun.
Watching television and watching the bread and circus of modern culture to care. Is that true? Are you sure? Because you underwrite the whole system. The neoliberal neocon system globally is underwritten by you. Your taxes, your pension money, the insurance money, and most importantly, your sons and daughters. You're the one that can tell Congress, hey, not one increase to the debt ceiling, and we want to see massive cuts. We want to see massive cuts in spending, and we want to see it now, not next year. Don't give me some happy talk formula. Don't give me some set of mathematics. I want to see real cuts. Yep. Now, when you talk about real cuts, and Russ,
like to what?
Not the president. You know, Biden is always running around talking.
Wait, he's predicting World War III, so he's certainly not going to be suggesting that the military spending get cut, right?
And cuts over the next 10 years, I think, in Medicaid. These are going to be tough cuts, okay? Get the woke and weaponization out. Don't think everyone's going to be a fight, a tough fight. But think about it for a second. We have to cut trillions of dollars out of our budget every year to accumulate to trillions of dollars over the next 10 years. Everyone's going to be ugly, right? We're giving $200 billion to Ukraine. We're paying their pensions. We're paying their health care. Do people under 35, do you have pensions that the government's paying for right now? You do not. Do you have full health care? You do not. We are underwriting, which Europe will not underwrite. I have no problem at all. If the Ukrainian people want to fight a Slavic war for the Russian-speaking eastern border of Ukraine, and if they want to go,
they want to fight a Slavic war. What the fuck? That's got to be. What the fuck?
We've paid enough in the wars in Europe. We're not a European power. We're a Pacific power.
But we're okay. Whatever. That doesn't make sense.
I need them on Capitol Hill and on Wall Street in the city of London to hear you. Can I hear you? Are you going to send your sons and daughters to this war? And this is a room of veterans, and this is a room of patriots that have served their country. Now, let me tell you where the hard part gets. The hard part gets, we've had the oligarchs on the Republican Party, the big hedge fund guys making $16 billion a year, Ken Griffin and Mitch McConnell and Rupert Murdoch. They have deemed, they have told you that Donald J. Trump is not going to be the president of the United States.
Well, I hope they're right. I don't know.
Don't fall for the primary stuff. You have really good and decent people. Governor DeSantis, Mike Pompeo, Tim Scott. You have Nikki Haley. That's all fine. It's not relevant. We don't have time for on-the-job training for a man that gave us 4 years. 4 years.
What the fuck?
Peace and prosperity.
On-the-job training? This is so crazy. All right, we're actually going to cut this here. This is just a fascist speech, actually. And then we're going to watch Marjorie the Gathering's speech.
Please welcome, from Georgia, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, welcome back to Maryland, CPAC.
Oh, wow.
We're so excited.
Oh, did you?
Thank you. Well, welcome back to Maryland, CPAC. We're so excited to be here, and this is such an important time for conservatives to come together. And I'll tell you why. The left has told us something that should put fear in the heart of every parent, and not just parents, every single person. They've said they're coming for our children.
She's not really getting the response she's hoping for.
I don't know about you, but when it comes to kids, I think the Republican Party has a duty. We have a responsibility, and that is to be the party that protects children. Now, whether it's like Zelensky saying he wants our sons and daughters to go die in Ukraine, whether
Has he been saying that? I haven't been keeping up. I don't think he's singing.
Men's choir literally singing, "We're coming for your children."
No, the song is called "We'll Convert Your Children," and it's saying that we will teach them not to hate. There's no song for that.
Or it's a new disturbing ideology that tells the most incredible lie that children can actually change their gender before they've even grown up, before they've even finished puberty, before they've developed into an adult, before they're old enough to vote, before they're old enough to graduate from high school, before they're old enough to even get a tattoo, put ink permanently on their skin, before they're old enough to buy nicotine, before they're old enough to buy alcohol, before they even graduate from high school.
Yeah, they're going all in on this
Many
stuff.
of them before they drive a car. Now,
Okay.
when I ran for Congress, I thought I was running for Congress to rein in the out-of-control spending in Washington, to defend our southern border,
You were there to where we go one, we go all.
fight against the radical left and their ideas of bigger government, more control.
Kikyo, not this time. Maybe
Stop funding
2032.
foreign wars that never do anything for America but send our soldiers back home either in coffins or with PTSD. I thought I was fighting for conservative values to support businesses and give our kids a future. But on day one, when I was sworn into Congress and we voted on the rules package, and that was last Congress, our speaker was Nancy Pelosi. And
It almost sounds like it's a fake booing. Like, it's weird. This is weird. It sounds like there's like 30 people there.
we had a new rule in our rules package, and that was there was no more gender. You couldn't say family names, mother, father, sister, brother. You couldn't acknowledge he, she, him, her, because gender was no longer in existence. We had a big fight on the Equality Act where I ended up putting a sign outside my office door that said there's only two genders, male and female. Trust the science.
But that's not what the science says. So that's not what the science says.
But who knew this would become an even bigger battle?
Well, it's because y'all wanted this was what you wanted.
An industry.
Y'all wanted this battle. You clearly want this.
Multi-billion-dollar industry. And they have a target, or should I say a victim. You see, their target is not adults that, adults can choose what they want to do. This isn't about adults. We're talking about people under the age of 18. Their target for their multi-billion-dollar industry are children. And everyone knows that when you're growing up, think about it. How many times did you say when you're a kid you wanted to be a fireman or a doctor or a police officer, or you wanted to be something when you're an adult? But
I want to be a QAnon person that ran for Congress.
my favorite thing to say that I did become when I was growing up is I wanted to be a mom. And thankfully, I am a mom.
Why are you, is that a clap line?
But the victims of this industry are kids. And these are kids who are confused about who they are. And they're confused about who they are because of what they're seeing on the internet, what they're seeing on social media. And they're also confused, many of them, because these victims of this billion-dollar industry that mutilates the genitals of children,
Wait, what?
many of these victims have diagnoses of autism, mental illness.
What the? Whoa.
They have anxiety. They have psychosis. Many of them live in foster care, so they already have lived life.
Whoa. This is quite bad. This is far more disgusting than Michael Knowles' speech.
Lives of abuse.
Thank you for the follow.
And these victims
Neil.
come in thinking they're going to find happiness and they're going to find security in their identity because they think they can change their gender. These boys think they can become girls. These girls think they can become boys. But you want to know what's happening to them? they're given puberty blockers, they're fast-tracked, given puberty blockers that actually chemically castrates them.
No, that's not what it doesn't do that.
They're given testosterone to girls as young as 11, 12, 13 years old.
I think that's very rare.
4 to 5 years, some of them are having to have hysterectomies because of the damage it does inside of them.
I don't know. I bet all of these claims are false or
off. That is a permanent damage to their body. They'll never be able to breastfeed their baby. And there are boys that are having their penises turned inside out. These are kids.
This is not happening. This is bullshit. This is absolute fucking lies.
She's so extreme. I introduced a bill called the Protect Children's Innocence Act. Protect Children's Innocence Act. And let me tell you my great news this morning, ladies and gentlemen. It couldn't pass last Congress because, like I said, Nancy Pelosi was the Speaker of the House, and she doesn't believe in gender at all. But we have a new Speaker in our Republican majority in the House of Representatives.
Yes, that's how it works when you have the most seats. There's a bit of a drama to get there.
I'm going to be introducing my bill, the Protect Children's Innocence Act, that will make it a felony to perform anything to do with gender-affirming care on children.
Anything to do with, well, it's going to die in the Senate. So.
Right. And obviously, you all agree with me. But it's not just conservative Republicans that agree with this. This isn't a right-wing extremist idea, everyone, that we should protect children from making a horrible mistake, because many of these kids do realize it's a mistake and they hate what they've done to themselves. And then they're left with lifelong disabilities by the people that are making billions of dollars mutilating their
This is weird. This is really weird framing. There's like a bit of like anti-big pharma, anti-big medicine message here, like anti-big business message here. It's weird.
Idea, because people like Bill Maher agree with me on this issue, even though he attacks me. There's
nobody clapped. Nobody likes Bill Maher anymore.
All over America that agree that we need to let kids be kids. And while I'm still committed to saying no money to Ukraine, and that country needs to find peace, not war, and while I will look at a camera and directly tell Zelensky, you better leave your hands off of our sons and daughters because they're not dying over there. I will also inform the lion that looks to devour, and that lion is looking to devour our children.
The lion?
Our God is bigger.
Wait, what?
And our God is the God.
God versus the lion?
Created us, man and woman, in his image he created us. And our God is the God that created our children. And because of him, we will get this bill passed, and the Republican Party will be the party that protects children from such an evil that I cannot believe it exists in this time. Thank you so much, everyone. Listen, call to action. Call to action. I'm introducing my bill next week. Call every single member of Congress and tell them to get on the Protect Children's Innocence Act. Thank you so much to Matt Schlapp and CPAC for endorsing my bill. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Well, that was terrifying. CPAC is terrifying, but we cover it every year. It's because because it's fucking terrifying. Anyway, we're going to start the podcast in just a few minutes. This is Nice Guys by NVS, and I'll be back to reintroduce myself like a weirdo.
my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Drunk fraternity guy, you got my asshole, bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to the side to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, was so impressed. Lots of chicks in a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. I just can't understand it. Fucker defined by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics. Guess everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finished Mr. Whitebeard, you're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. Swims in the pool, let it cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Tomatos, I'll pack your